JC Tretter will not be a Minnesota Viking. One of the biggest questions over the offseason asked by Vikings fans was, would they upgrade at center and would they go out and get one of the top free agent centers? And the answer is no, because the former Cleveland Browns center, JC Tretter, decided today and announced that he was going to retire. Now, Tretter had some injury issues, including a knee that was problematic for him at times, but played the entire season last year and had terrific Pro Football Focus grades. But he says that he is out of the league because he is the NFL Players Association president. And in a Sports Illustrated article, he claimed that he did not get a call back from the Minnesota Vikings. I had a chance today to ask Kevin O'Connell about what JC Tretter said. He had said he had heard what JC Tretter said about calling Minnesota, but was not aware, and that Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, the GM, was also not aware that Tretter had tried to reach out to the Vikings.
Yeah, it's a tough question to answer because as far as I'm concerned, that's news to me. I know Kwesi and myself have not had any dialogue with JC. If somebody in this building did, it didn't make it to me, or Kwesi for that matter. JC's obviously as a former player, he in a lot of ways represents me as well. So as the NFLPA president, so I have a ton of respect for him, not only in that role, but as a player as well. I know the O-line coach in Cleveland pretty well, and I know he's one of the best in this league, and he's been coached up by him, and he had a lot of really good things to, say about JC over his time in Cleveland. So a lot of respect for the player, but unfortunately I can't really speak to that because, like I said, I'm not aware of any of those conversations. It was news to me to hear that. I did hear it, though.
But bottom line, the center to start week one is going to be Garrett Bradbury, and where they go from there, we will see. But Tretter claiming he's out of the league because he is the NFL Players Association president. That is not the first time that claim has been made by an NFLPA president. Kevin Mawai in 2010 also said that he believed he was still a free agent at the end of his career because he was part of the NFL Players Association leadership, but that was not what the Vikings said. They said they never got the call from Tretter and clearly did not have interest for whatever reason. And there has been no sign of an actual center competition for the Minnesota Vikings. A competition, though, has been decided, and that's a punter. Ryan Wright is the Minnesota Vikings punter. Jordan Berry was released today, despite their special teams coach, Matt Daniels, saying we could expect a punt off on Saturday. Well, there will be no such punt off, but Ryan Wright could get a lot of work for the Vikings. Also, he is the holder for Greg Joseph, so that battery will be somewhat worth watching. In practice, the Vikings have two notable things to bring up. Number one is that they had a tough time today in a organized scrimmage where they tried to simulate full speed reps with Kirk Cousins versus the number one defense. Cousins threw several interceptions, had a couple of more passes that went right to defenders, and admitted to being very frustrated after practice, said that he had a couple of meetings with Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen on the sideline, and that they would have to go back and look at what happened today and try to fix out those kinks that they had, but said that it's better to happen now, of course, than in 2 weeks when they play against the Green Bay Packers.
Some good, some bad today in practice. I was a little frustrated with the way I finished up, but we made some plays early as an offense, which was good to see, and you'd like to think that you'd rather make the mistakes now, learn from them, and start to tighten the screws as we get closer and closer. But today had a little different feel to it in a good way in terms of prepping for the real thing. So good day's work, and you just got to keep stacking them up.
Also, Sean Mannion took all of the full speed 11-on-11 reps at quarterback. Kellen Mond and Nick Mullins watched from the sideline. They did take some slower reps, but all the 11-on-11s went to Mannion, which insinuates that he'll be the quarterback against the Denver Broncos. No decision made technically on the backup quarterback. We figure it will be Nick Mullins, but it's possible that two of them could stay, and signs are looking more toward Sean Mannion. But it also could be a situation where they're giving Mannion an opportunity to showcase his abilities if someone else wants to pick him up. We'll find out when the Vikings make their final cuts early next week. That's Enough for me from TCO Performance Center. Preseason action on Saturday night and lots to watch for bubble positions, players at wide receiver, guys fighting for spots along the offensive and defensive line and in the secondary will all get their final chance then. And of course, we'll have our reports right here. So we will catch you then.